That's basically what I focus my career on, helping other people, helping people in my community, within my community, to be able to achieve the goal of home ownership.
Real Estate Diva McDuffie is not something that you just woke up and did. I mean, your clients gave you that name, right?
The word says, your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men, right? So that's what's happening with you. You are naturally gifted at this thing. You've always been gifted with talking to people. This is showing I'm talking about you. But it don't matter because I'm going to give her kudos. You've always been good at
Permanent Plug Behind the Permanence podcast. Let me tell you something. Right now, I have a special guest for you. I actually have none other than Real Estate Diva McDuffie. Listen, this is one of my great friends, but I actually call her myself Real Estate Diva McDuffie. Okay? Because she is just that. She's been in real estate for almost 20 years. You understand? She's been at the top of her game. She's done other things before, but this is absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, this is your calling. Just like this is my calling.
Yeah.
So let me tell you guys, I have a treat today. She's not only a full-time real estate realtor, but she's also a real estate investor. And I don't mean it just started yet again, somebody that's been doing this for years. And none other than Real Estate Diva McDuffie herself. Welcome, girl.
Thank you, Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. See, listen, I know this is probably all of like the social media stuff is kind of new for you. But I'm excited because I get to highlight people that I care about and that I know that actually know their stuff and doing this stuff every single day. So it's important that they know to wake up and be Real Estate Diva McDuffie is not something that you just woke up and did. I mean, your clients gave you that name, right?
Actually, no, a girlfriend of mine gave me that
name. Your girlfriend gave you that name.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, when I first got started in real estate, yeah.
And then I want to know about you when you first started, because you was an investor and a homeowner, like, to transition
simultaneously almost.
Who you are, simultaneously. How does that? Do you still have that property? Do you not have that property? Do you believe in buying properties and holding on to them, or do you believe in buying properties and flipping them? So tell us a little bit about your background.
All right. Well, first of all, I got to give it back to you, right? Listen, guys, when I tell you I am so proud of this lady, I am so proud of her. I've known her for, I don't know.
2015.
15, whatever. Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
About 2015.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I've known her.
It was born in 15. So it was before Kindle.
Yeah, it was before Kindle. Yeah.
So
oh my God. Yes, we go back, y'all. But, we met in the real estate world. She was an agent and we instantly connected. And, you went through that period of being a real estate agent. You were already a business owner. You had a property management hustle, property management, cleaning company, real estate agent. I was like, girl. Then she was doing this other business. But I was like, listen, this is like the hustle man, hustle lady right here. But I can honestly say, Paulette, and I keep saying it, I'm so proud of the space you're in right now. You found your calling. This is what you are naturally gifted at. And I don't want to get, well, I'm a believer, so I'm going to say it. The word says,
talking.
Your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men, right? So that's what's happening with you. You are naturally gifted at this thing. You've always been gifted with talking to people. This is showing I'm talking about you. But that don't matter because I'm going to give her kudos. You've always been naturally good at talking to people and connecting with people and to be the plug, right? That's what you're doing now. So your gift is making room for you, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. All right, y'all. Sorry, we're on the But yeah, so my background, I worked in social services for 10 years. And how I got into real estate is actually twofold, right? I had honestly gotten burned out. from working in social services. It's a very demanding career.
Right.
And I began praying and asking God, I need another way. I need something else to do. I love helping people, but I need something else to do. So around that time, my nephew had been looking for a career. He had just left college. So I took him to a class, and it was real estate. And I said, you know what? I can do this, right? But I delayed it a little bit. And because I wanted to buy an investment property, I had a lot going on. Still working investment property. I think I was like newly married or just engaged or something like that. There was a lot going on, and I was buying this investment property. So the twofold part of how I got into real estate was that in my process of buying that property, I couldn't find an agent to help me because I wasn't spending a whole lot of money. I was only spending like $30,000. You know, and I couldn't find an agent to help me. It's like, as an agent, everything is about commission. Right. So I could not find a good agent to help me. Now, here I am. I'm 20 something years old. I got this little bit of money I done saved up, and I want to buy a property. And I couldn't find anybody to help me. So I finally found somebody, but I said, I am going to go ahead and get my license. I'm going to be a real estate agent, and I'm going to help people to be able to achieve their dream of being an investor or and or homeowner, and I will never become quote unquote so big in my brain that I can't deal with people that aren't spending a whole lot of money, so that's basically what I focus my career on, helping other people, helping people in my community, within my community, to be able to achieve the goal of home ownership. Because when I was in social services, I recognized that a lot of the people we were servicing did not own homes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, home ownership is key, to the family structure, dynamics, stability, all of those things, generational wealth, So I said, you know what? I want to help my community to be able to do this, and they need a good agent, and I think I'm up for it.
So how long before you got burnt out of the industry, and then you decided to take on real estate full time, and you turned into?
I was only a part-time agent for about 1.5 years before I had to go full time. Business was good. And it's weird because this is why I say, man, God, when he calls you to do something, he makes provision. Right. Because I got licensed in 2007. What happened in 2008 and 9?
Right.
The market crash.
The market crash. Yep. Because I got licensed in 2008. Yep.
Yeah. The market crash. So I got licensed right before the market crash. And I went full time during the market crash.
Ooh.
Quit my job.
Yes.
And went full time, have been full time since. And I was almost forced to do it because business was so good for me at the time. When other people was leaving real estate, I was jumping in full time.
You were jumping in full time. Yeah. And now today, oh my gosh, you've done so much.
Thank you.
From investments to help. I don't know how many countless. You're a listing agent, right? Because I know as a realtor, you're a buyer's agent, listing agent.
I primarily back and forth,
but primarily
listing.
And as an agent, you already know. As an agent, every agent want to be a listing agent because they figure it's less work they got to do, and while the buyer agent is out showing their property.
But that's not true. That's the perception. But that's not true. Believe me, as the listing agent, at least the things I do for my clients, it's a lot. It's like you're constantly having to. The longer property sits on the market, you're constantly having to reevaluate and do your homework on the comparables. The comps in the other area, updating your client. Continuously throughout the process. It's a lot of marketing dollars. I don't just rely on, Zillow and all that other stuff, right? So, this money that I have to put out.
Going to the property station and cleaning and showing.
Yeah, girl, I'm in there moving furniture with my clients. I don't just, Like, I'm hands on, so I'm moving tables,
and paperwork
everything.
straightened out for them that they need help with because there's no one else there to help them.
Yeah, then it's the whole, you know, if it's in the
Title.
state, exactly, title. It's a lot on the back end, you know. So, you know, yes, buyers, agents do run buyers around, and that's a lot of gas, money, and all of that. And you know, these other things that happen on the buyers end as well. But you know, a lot of people do not understand the work that goes into being a good listing agent.
A good listing agent. Look, which reminds me, contracts. So we used to both work for the same brokerage. And this brokerage till this day, I don't know any other brokerage that does this. I think maybe Berkshire Hathaway does.
Probably.
I'm not sure. They're like the only other one. We're talking about, you know, I think Berkshire Hathaway does. But they actually sent us to boot camp for 6 weeks. You guys, boot camp for 6 weeks as a new agent to learn the agreement to sell, learn how to properly talk to people, learn how to properly fill out those contracts, learn the whole entire process, all the disclosures and things like that we had to learn. That I thought I was excited, but then a grueling process at the same time because you're in a classroom setting with a binder, and it's like I hope I did good, and you're doing projects, and then you instantly got to get on the phones and start calling people, and you know, and then they have motivational days and stuff like that, and everybody's doing their own thing. That was, you had a coach, you know, as well. So that was amazing. That's that hands-on. They don't really get too much of that anymore. I think not a lot of other places do that. But this particular company was, when you're a new agent, this is a must. This is not even, this is what you have to do. It was almost like a mandatory thing that you have. And I think we were in Plymouth, wherever we was at.
There was
Germantown, Chestnut Hill, somewhere like that, Jenkintown, somewhere. And I know we had to do that for a while. And but and then I got my certificate. I still got a picture of me and my certificate at the end of taking my class. You know, and I felt accomplished at that time. And then I had to learn how to dress. I used to wear hats all the time. You know, I had to learn a lot about the paperwork. So the paperwork process, you are efficient when it comes with this agreement to sell. So I'm telling you guys, if you a good agent knows that agreement to sell like the back of their hands. Period. Period. They know that agreement to sell. They're not just going to have you sign a contract just to be signing it. You understand? No matter what side Des sits on, she knows that agreement to sell. I remember telling someone that, oh, you're working with Des, you better make sure your contract right because she won't find it because she's really, really that good with contracts. You know what I'm saying? So really that diligent with paperwork and those kind of things. And a lot of people don't understand that because they sort of rush to get the property, that they don't look at the position that they put their buyers or they sellers in. You know, and now it's like, well, wait a minute, did you read the contract? And you didn't, but now I don't know, we're bonded. We're bonded.
And there are some agents now, I can honestly say there's situations, if my client is okay with it, you know, everybody make mistakes, right?
Right.
You know, so the reason you need to know your contract is because if you have an agent on the other side or a buyer or a seller on the other side and they're not trying to hear a mistake was made, you screwed. Like basically you stuck to whatever it is that you signed. And there are people who will really hold you to it. If it was a mistake and I'm like, all right, I can tell this was a mistake. They didn't check this off or whatever the case may be. You know, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes sometimes, even in the contract. There's been a time. You know, I remember this one particular situation. I made a mistake. I accidentally waived the financing contingency, the mortgage contingency, and this agent tried to hold me to it, but she made a mistake too. So you know I found it. Right. I said, okay, you know I'm gonna find it.
And you could have did this. So let's come to a compromise here.
Exactly. We're going to come to a compromise. Right. But in this situation, I mean, if I have everything filled out on it with regards to a mortgage, and then I accidentally check the little waive button. That's an accident.
Why would you check everything for a mortgage and then waive?
Exactly. So something like that, I probably wouldn't have held, the person to. So, the people do things differently. As long as my client is okay with it, I'm like, all right, well, we'll fix that. We'll work that out. But you definitely have to know their contract. Because I'm gonna say, I know a situation. I'm not gonna say who the situation happened to, but I know a situation where an inspection repair contingency was missed, the deadline was missed.
Oh,
And
I
that
know,
agent
yeah.
and that agent had to come out of pocket to make repairs to a property because, it was missed.
No, that's true.
It was missed.
That's
So
true,
those
yeah.
are the mistakes that we try not to make because I don't want to spend any of my money.
Right, especially on a property that may not sell at the end.
Yeah.
And a property that you don't get the money back.
Exactly.
And it's, who wants to do that? And it's a proof of somebody else's property.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but who wants to go through something like
Nobody.
that? So let's talk about we had some conversation, y'all. So let's talk about the municipality, the construction projects, the hurt point.
You see the roll in the eyes, the back of my head.
Yes, let's talk about the elephant in the room. So the elephant in the room is now we're not talking about one of your projects. One of your projects is a rental, right?
Yes.
And then you have your private home.
Mm-hmm. And but the other property that I'm working on now, which is the one you're helping me.
Right. And that property right there.
Mm-hmm.
So oh my gosh. I don't even know where to start with that property because we're still not done yet. But it's something. The important thing about this project is it holds up everything. Mm-hmm. And even when we get to the point where we're good to go now something else came up. And then now we have to deal with that, when we're actually ready to go. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I want you to tell them, I guess, how you acquired the property. You know, how you acquired the property, and then how the neighbors came after you. Yeah.
So basically, this property was actually owned by my stepfather, and around the time he had gotten sick, and the property had basically, began deteriorating. So conversation was had, and he allowed me to acquire the property from him. Prior to his passing. The goal for the property was for me to move my parents into it. At the time, it was a triplex. Move my parents into it on the first floor. I was going to rehab everything, do everything. So that they don't have to worry about anything. My stepfather, he was driving at the time. I wanted him to be able to park the car, so it has a garage, right? I wanted him to be able to park and not have to worry about, parking and those things. And I was going to live in the building as well, second or third floor. We had this all planned out. Right before I go to closing, some kind of notice on the property, conservatorship. Conservatorship.
I heard about those. Those are worse than squatters.
Oh my God! I had to spend so much money to keep my building. Because I had to show that I had the ability to be able to rehab my building. Even though the property had deteriorated under somebody else's ownership, I now own it. You would think that the conservatorship would go away. No.
Tell me what a conservatorship is now.
Yeah, so the conservatorship is basically when someone else takes the responsibility of your money, your project, your property, and managing it. So basically the conservator, if awarded, would have been managing the rehab of the property. And then he would have taken, I believe it was like 30% of the cost. I would have had to pay him 30% of the cost to rehab it or sell it. So let's say, for instance, this property, when completed, is worth $1 million. I'm just throwing it, Then I would have had to pay him 30% of that.
And he don't even own the property.
He don't own it.
He just pretty much found the property that was vacant, sat there, needed some work, and decided to put a conservatorship on it.
Yeah. So
that's like another way of
stealing. It is. And the thing about it, how I want it is,
and it's legal.
Ain't that so bad? Yeah. So it does have to be. You have to partner with a nonprofit organization. So this guy, he created this nonprofit. Supposedly said that he would. His mission was to, remediate the blight in the community. His only blight project was removing graffiti from a wall or some mess like that. I don't know. And then he rehabbed his own house. Well, I did that too. You know, I rehabbed my own house.
Absolutely.
I rehabbed multiple houses.
Yes.
You know, so,
Yes.
sir, I'm more qualified to handle this project than you are. So I had to show all kinds. I had to show the ass, my money, everything, to show that I had the ability to keep my property and rehab my property. And
Wow.
it cost me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to be able to prove this. I had to pay his lawyer. I had to pay the conservator his fee.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I am confused.
Yeah, that's the way the conservatorship.
You
laws
had
are
to
written.
pay the attorney
The attorney that
for the conservative
for the conservator
and your own
And-
attorney,
and my own attorney.
and then you had to pay the conservative still.
Yeah,
Why?
that's the way the conservatorship rules are written.
So they're getting paid while they suing, while you're going to court.
Actually, we're going to court. The judge did say that the property was blighted. I knew it was blighted. That's why
Yeah,
I
that's the
bought
thing.
the property.
Right.
So I
Right.
can
So
rehab
we can
it.
rehab it. Yeah.
Right? So, but yeah, okay, it was blighted. They found that it was blighted. And because of that, I had to pay the conservator and his attorney's fees. So the conservator got like, I think $10,000 for suing me.
Stop it for suing you. That's a boyish.
For me to be. So my whole thing is this for the community where I have this property. Yeah. I don't know what I can say about it, but
You have to talk about the community, but while going through that process, the community start complaining too. Right.
well, the thing about it is, because this property is highly desired because of
The location.
the location and the amenities of the property. It's a
Right.
two-car garage in the middle of the city,
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
close to center city,
Mhm.
3 stories, you
Right.
know, like they want this property.
Of course they want that
They don't want
property.
me to have it.
Mm-mm, they don't want you to
They
have
don't want me
property.
to have it.
Mm-mm.
Somebody want it, you know.
Mhm.
But so this conservator, he partnered with some community members, and they basically, you know, came on testifying that the property is a blight. We know this. If you were not suing me, then my time would be put
And
into
my money
rehab.
will be put into the
Exactly.
rehab.
All the money that I had to put out to keep the property
Right.
could have been put into the rehab. But
So are you out of the conservatorship now?
yes, we're done. We're done with it.
Thank you.
The judge awarded, you know, me my property. Isn't that weird? The
Yeah.
judge awarded me my
Your
property.
property.
And then there were certain things that I had to agree to, you know, as far as making sure the property did not look as blighted as it was.
Right.
So, you know, I handled those things, and we were able to close the make safe, you know, with your assistance. So,
Right.
you know, thank you for that, for your assistance and all of that. But yeah, so now I'm just ready to move on.
Now
to
I'm
the
just
next
waiting for the
phase.
process of, I'm going through the L&R process now to go ahead and rehab the property.
Yes.
You know, have you gotten any complaints or anything from a neighbor and since then?
I mean, not really. For the most part, they leave me alone. They see I'm serious
Mm-hmm.
about, you know, what I want to do to the property. You
Mhm.
know, I've done so much so far.
Mm-hmm.
I put so much money into this property, and it still doesn't look like anything. I put in about $150,000.
Whoa, what?
Well, we're not into it between that and
And paying the contractor.
the conservator.
The conservator
the
and-
conservator and the work that had to be done to satisfy the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before I can even get
And the
inside
property to really
to make
actually-
it look like something.
So let me ask you this. How has it been with you, like with this property? You have a construction company now that you
Yeah.
work with, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened before? I know you had tried to start this process before and with
Yeah.
this property, and then there was another lesson learned there after that, which is right after the conservatorship, right? Was it?
Yeah, that was actually that was during. That
Oh,
was
that was
why
during?
that was during, because I wanted to show that, all right, y'all's doing what you're doing. You
Let me
know,
hurry
trying
put a
to sue.
contractor in here.
Yeah,
too.
I'm still gonna do what I need to do. You know, so I had already started, doing some things because it's my property, right? It's still my property, and I'm trusting and believing God that it's going to be my property when all of this is done. So, I'm just moving forward. But anyhow, so I did have a contractor, who was a client of mine, and
your contractor was your client.
Yeah, he was a client.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a client of mine. Not this one now. Well, actually, no, not this one now, but the first one.
Right.
He was a client of mine. I had sold him several properties.
Oh, wow.
And, I've seen his work and, it looked okay. It looked fine. And I needed a contractor. So I went with my client. I like to give back to people.
Yeah.
You support me, I'm going to support you. Right? But it ended up not being a good situation in the end because as a contractor, you have to listen to your client, for one. It's not about what you want. It's about what I want. It's my property. So some of the things that were done to the property while I was going through this conservatorship, I would not have had to do had my contractor listened to me. Like, for instance, when they were demoing the interior of the property, they took out all of the windows. Why? Why did you do this? Why did you take out all the windows? All the windows. All the windows. So now I have this property that's sitting wide open to all of the elements.
Yeah.
Windows are in backwater.
Yeah. I already know.
So,
and they took them out before even ordering windows?
Yes.
What?
Girl. And I said, I specifically said, make sure you guys do not take the windows out. Everything else inside, can go. The windows, I need them to stay. Oh, the windows and the radiators, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do yet. And I like radiator heat. I just do. I think it's just a cleaner heat. And I have allergies. So anyway, I was going to figure out another way, do another system for central air.
Okay.
But anyway. Next thing I know, all the radiators are gone. I come by, the windows are out, and I'm like, so that ended up costing me more money and more of a problem with the community because now they're saying the property is sitting wide open.
Yep.
And then the city has this doors and windows, law, rule, whatever the heck you want to call it. So I had to quickly, get something done. So temporarily we put the boards up there, but that even took forever for him to do that. So I mean, I don't want to. If he sees this show,
well, no, not first of all, well,
yeah,
right, who he is. But my thing is, you went from being in a whole nightmare situation that you were dealing with, with the conservatorship and keeping your property and paying all their fees, to turn around, trying to still do the right thing, and then now you got the contractor that's take you through a whole nother unnecessary situation.
Yeah, and then the other thing is the contractor lost his license throughout the process. So that was another part of the holdup. I had no idea he had lost his license. So now I'm in court, and I'm trying to say it, and because they're trying to take the property. They're checking everything. They're like, well, your contractor is not licensed. What? What are you talking about? I asked for all this information. He provided it.
Right.
He had just lost it, and they found it. He had just lost his license, and they found it. So I had to, the judge, thank God, gave us another hearing. She said, fix it. Fix it. So I had to fix it, but my only way to fix it, because he wasn't moving fast enough, was to get under the contract.
Absolutely.
So the contractor I have now, I'm happy with.
Yeah.
I am happy with him. He's, very diligent, persistent. He stays on me because I'm crazy busy, but he stays on my heels, to get things done. So
yeah, he's ready to he's definitely ready to work. It's crazy how he took everything out of the property like that. And this is a seasoned contractor. It's not a contractor that is, and even then, no permits was pulled. Nothing was pulled. I would assume, because he wouldn't, that's not something that...
I think he did pull he did. I think he did pull a demo permit.
They pulled a demo permit.
Because everything had to... No, yes, the interior, because I couldn't take any chances because I was dealing with the conservatorship. So that cost me more money. Whereas honestly, some ways I might have been able to get away with certain things. Ain't no getting away with things when you're dealing with this conservatorship, because you have to, show you're doing everything by the book.
Did they give you a certain period of time to get it done by?
Yes. Once I was awarded the conservator, well, I wasn't awarded the conservator.
Yeah, once you was awarded.
Yeah, it's called, oh my God, what is it called? Conditional approval, whatever the heck it is. It's called, I don't even remember now. But once the judge awarded that to me, then I had X amount of time to satisfy the conditions that they put on me, basically, which was to satisfy the Macy. And to get the sidewalk done. So I had to get a whole new sidewalk poured on this huge corner property all the way around to the garage. And several other things I had to say, the windows, I had to get the windows put in. Right. Which was a rush. So it's like I spent money on these windows, but honestly I may not even use all of them.
You may not even use all of them, yeah.
Yeah, but I had to, what else was I gonna do? I had to get a roof put on.
Yeah.
That's gonna get ripped out anyway when I do the roof deck. So yeah, I just really wish these people would have just left me alone and
what, this conservatorship, I mean, that's like a cancer in a society to me. It's a cancer. It's like, literally, it's worse than squatters' rights. Because squatters' rights, you have to be in a property. They have to be in a property for so many years. They got to live in it. They got to have utilities on. They got to have whatever. But when you're dealing with conservatorship, I know people who personally, businesses, big time real estate companies who own properties, who actually been through conservatorship properties. I mean, conservatorship on few of their properties of properties they actually own. They could not believe it. Yeah. They're like, wait a minute, this is my property, and this person is coming in just trying to take ownership of my property. And it boggled their mind. I even had a situation where a client was living in his property. Oh, wow. And they tried to do a conservatorship, and the client was living in the property. Wow. So that's a really huge thing. You want to deal with an attorney that really understands conservatorship too, not just any attorney. Because that's a real epidemic right now that people don't really talk about as much. Yeah. That needs to be talked about. So when we're going back on your project right now, let's just say right now, where are we with the project? I mean, you're finally done most of the things now, but right now you're in a project, really you're just kind of still going through like the permitting process, right? Yeah, I still have to get the general building permit, but that's something else, right? Oh, I guess I can't talk about the city. You got but it's just like one municipality or one department does not communicate with the other department. Yeah. And it's just so much that you have to do to get things done. Yes. Right? Because there's so many mistakes. Like for instance, I just got a letter in the mail from the Department of Revenue. I didn't get it. My mother got it. And the property is still listed with them under my stepfather's name. Department of Revenue. Yeah. No, it's my property because when you pick it up, the city is behind. Exactly. So they're also behind with all of the other stuff. Yeah. So it's like I have to at this point right now prove that something was paid and so I can get the general building permit. So you can get the general building permit. That's true. But yeah, it's you usually have to upload the settlement HUD sheet so they can put things into your name. But then the OPA is slow. Yeah. The OPA, sometimes it happens quick and sometimes it doesn't happen. It's been 2 years. Sometimes it happens quick and sometimes it don't. Yeah. But they know it's your property. Yeah, they know it's your property. They know it's the property. But the OPA tends to be a lot slower in catching up and that kind of thing. But as long as a deed is recorded, the city of Philadelphia, when they go to put the permit in, they can see the transfer. So they go, okay, well, I see it in this person's name, but this person right here, we see purchased the property, even though it might still have that person's name on it. Yeah. So yeah, it's still an uphill battle. I know it's the permit process. Look, the plans process. A lot of people don't talk about the plans. The plans process is minimum 3 weeks at best. To even go through that process to get even to go even towards other process. And then if you want to accelerate your permit, that's another $2,000.
Yeah.
You know, because you lost so much time as it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now the city is saying, now they need you to comply with the things that was already paid, and you got to figure that out.
Yes. It's a process.
So
listen, the only thing that I've done prior to this project was basic rehabs. This is a whole other beast.
Yeah, it is a beast.
This is a whole other beast.
It is definitely.
And it is not for the weary.
The weak.
The weary, the weak, none of it.
None of it.
It'll all be worth it in the end.
I think
but
so.
You know, just getting through the process is a lot.
Yeah.
So when I say the process, meaning a full gut rehab, I've never done that before. You know, so to get the architectural plans and you know, and you need the street permits for this, and you need this.
Yeah. The zone permits for that.
Yeah, the sidewalk closure.
Yeah.
I just wanna. Can I just go and do some sheetrock?
Yeah, right. Like
some paint nail in the kitchen and the bathroom.
Right.
I don't know that I will ever do this again. Really? I don't think so.
If you get through the process, I guess without putting in the conservatorship and prayerfully without dealing with the previous contractor, it's pretty much straightforward. I mean,
yeah, I guess if I didn't have to deal with the,
but you know what to look out for now. It takes a while to get a crew.
Yeah,
construction crew or a good that's not something you can just walk into. It takes a while to be able to get something like that. And when you get them, you want to hold on to them, because like you want to wait and not even start your project until it's time to actually do that project. You want to wait until they're available to do it, because that's how hard it is to find pretty decent and actually contractors going to show up every day ready to do the work. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to keep bleeding you money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's tough. And a lot of people, I'm not sure if that's your case, but a lot of people have these loans, hard money loans and stuff like that out.
God, I have a client now that had one horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Borrowed $60,000, 190,000. Ow!
Yes, and the whole 100. And then you have to get the rehab done.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't get the rehab done or get it done correctly, that's why when you're dealing with OPM, they call it other people's money. There has to be a game plan behind how you're doing that. Because if it's not, you're just going to spend the money, but it's not yours.
Yeah.
And you can't just easily just give it to the contractor, because every phase have to be accounted for and completed.
Yeah.
So they don't think about that either. It's not like all of a sudden I just make all this money. No. Everything has to be done a certain way.
Yeah.
And it could go over your head. I've had clients losing their buildings. I've had clients that wasn't pulling permits until now. All of a sudden now the lender wants a permit, and they didn't ask for the permit in the beginning of the process. They wait until they get so much in and say, "Oh, I need a permit." You know, I always say stay close to your project, especially when you're dealing with hard money. Stay close to that project, because there's going to be 2 inspections you're going to have. You're going to have the one inspection that's going to be from your hard money people. They have their own inspection that they conduct when they come out. And then the second thing that they do is you have that municipality, that building department, who send their people out, and they look at something different. Okay, one is for you to get your draw money, which is the one for the hard money. The other one is to pass the building itself, so you can move on to the next phase. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you can get through those phases and pay your contractors in phases too, and let your contractor know that you do have a draw schedule that you have to pay off of. Don't assume that they would know. Don't assume that they will understand, because like anybody doing a job, you expect that when you finish your job, you get your money. But no, hold up. I got to also now get an inspection done. So now that's another couple days before they get paid. Oh, then through the inspection, they want me to fix this. Now there's even more money. They got to come back and they got to fix that, because they want to fix some things. And there's more money where they're not getting their money. So if they understand in the beginning of the process, you put so much money down and then you pay them on phases, they look forward to making sure that stuff is done right, because they don't want to have to come back and have to correct, right? So they can go ahead and get their money. And it's a lot easier to pay people consistently on draw schedule than to not know if they're gonna run into the owner. Well, I don't know. I ain't seen the owner. I gotta chase the owner down for my money because I'm done. And they just tell you they done. And how do you, as the owner, really know that the stuff is done?
You don't know.
How do you really know? You don't really know that. So you rely on the municipality, or you rely on L&I or building department to come down, inspectors to come down to help determine if it is done correctly. They're your eyes and your ears and everything, you know. And you do the same thing with the hard money. Hard money lenders, when they come out and they do their draw schedule, they don't inspect like L&I inspect. They don't check to make sure things is working. They don't do that. They just make sure things are in place, you guys. They just check to make sure things are in place, not if it's actually working. You know, L&I does a lot more thorough. You know, the building department inspectors, they do a lot more thorough job because their whole thing is on health and safety. You know what I'm saying? But I also advocate for my clients to become their own GC because this way you wouldn't run into that situation like what you went through the conservatorship and then you wound up his license was expired or whatever, right? Lost his license. You would have been your own GC, right? And you still would have been able to hire who you want as a contractor, you know, but as your license would be the only one on your building. So you don't have to worry about them suing you or getting it revoked, getting the permit revoked, because that contractor can go down and remove his license off your property without your permission.
Oh, wow, really?
And get it revoked. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they can remove it. They can take their license right off your property without, and it will automatically revoke and automatically do a stop work. As soon as they pull their license off, it automatically stop works your project.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So if you saw the call for inspection, you realize, why can't I get an inspection? It's because you don't have a contractor anymore.
Wow.
So you can't get an inspection. But it's also on the flip side where you as the owner can also contact the department and reach out to them and remove that contractor as well. So it goes both ways. So you don't have to notify them. You know, you don't have to notify the contractor like, look, I'm done with you. I'm replacing you. No, you just replace them, whatever you want, change the locks on your door, and then you just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
But I had to do. I mean, I notified the contractor, but
you don't even have to notify the contractor. Most people lock their doors and as an owner, you need to change the locks on your doors for the mere fact of, not to say for their tools are concerned and things like that, but you do that to protect your investments, because half of the things that they usually purchase is your stuff that's in the property they were trying to take. If you let them get back in, say, listen, I'll have somebody meet you there to collect the things that you need to collect that's yours or that belong to you, you know, and be there with you, and then kindly let them out, you know. So it's tough. It's tough, especially when you have contractors that just work knowing that they do more than what they supposed to, because they take your project on like it's their project. Like, this is my house. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Not realizing the expense.
That happened with me with my house, the house I live in now. When I was rehabbing that house. So the contractor, we had a whole plan for the second floor.
Yeah.
I come in, everything different. I'm like, what happened? Well, I just figured it would be better to put the closet here and remove this here and do this here. But you didn't consult with me first.
Oh.
Like, this is my house, my property. Whoa. Like, you know, you can't just make, so that is something that contractors do sometimes. And, you know, it's a pain. I mean, I'll be honest. If I could go back in time, a couple of things I would have done different. Although I grew up with some knowledge of construction, because I, just like one of your other guests, my father was also a contractor. So I grew up with some knowledge. I grew up in the world of construction, right? But there's so much I honestly didn't know. And if I could go back in time, I probably would have rehabbed my property using a 203K loan. And the reason I say that,
the one that you live in now? Or
any other one that I possibly could have. At least until I get that knowledge of what the process is. Like you said, the draws and, you know, what to look for as far as, whether or not the
Because it's a slower process to learn along the way.
Exactly. So you get to learn along the way. And that's what I say to most of my clients who are thinking about jumping into, either whether it's fix and flip or buy and hold and you're rehabbing a property, if you can go the home style or the 203K route, because you have this consultant here, right? And it's the consultant's job to make sure this work is done,
Right.
Within a timely fashion and correctly. And if it is not done correctly, guess what? Those contractors don't get paid. So you eliminate the risk of contractors walking away with the lump sum of your money, not coming back, completing the job. In most situations, when someone is doing a 203K or a home style renovation, the contractors don't get any money up front.
No, they usually got to carry a bond. I think like $500. No, they have to have money in the bank themselves.
Yeah, they have to have money in the bank.
Access to line of credit.
Yes, line of credit.
Yeah.
Yes. So they don't. There's some banks that will give some money up front, but most of them don't give the contractors
they don't
money up front. So you can't. You as a contractor can't be in a situation where you asking for half up front and all this other stuff. Whereas the consumer, it's scary giving a contractor your money and you don't know, what they're going to do. So if I could go back in time, I would have done that project that way. If I could go back in time, I'll be honest, I probably would have done that with this property, the one we're talking about.
Oh, right.
I probably would have did it there just because as a working professional, even though I'm in real estate, I don't have time. That's not my lane. As far as, dealing with the contractors and, picking out this and picking out that and all of this stuff, I'm good at what I'm good at.
Right.
I'm not good at that.
Out of pocket.
Right.
Doing this.
Right.
No loan.
Right.
So it's like when you see your money that you work hard for just going out, and I've always been out of pocket.
Right.
And I've been successful so far. This one here, I might have to just go ahead and do a loan on that one.
Yeah.
Which will be new for me. But,
as long as you get into the right loan product.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, the right loan product or whatever.
It won't be hard money.
You'll be fine. No, definitely don't have to be hard money. Hard money is just a quick, is one certain route.